again. I hope it was really great. Let me make sure that our volume is turned all the way up. And I'm going to check over on YouTube. Make sure you can hear me. I'm streaming in from my Zoom. So let me go over there and check everything out. Who am I? I'm Garlinda Price. I'm the agency owner and national sales director of Fusion Insurance Group, powered by Senior Life. Let me just check our volume right quick. Over on YouTube. Yep, we're doing good. Okay, so I wanted to get on here tonight, and I'm going to be coming to you more often here in on my insurance channels, my insurance playlist, and talking about the industry. Why? Because we are industry disruptors. I want to say that I feel like the Lord has called me to be an industry disruptor. How so? Because, I was talking to one of my agents earlier, shout out to all my new business partners, and I was sharing with her that having come into an industry that's been dominated by a certain segment and sector of different types of people, you can become cynical, right? And people can become cynical because of bad experiences, because they haven't had a great experience, and or because they just don't feel like they got their fair shot. Like, people promised them that they were going to do all these different things. This is how it's supposed to go. It didn't go that way. And because of that, you lost your enthusiasm, right? Or the industry became lackluster to you, right? For lack of a better word. And so I wanted to get on here and encourage you tonight that if life insurance sales and final expense sales is the industry that the Lord truly did call you to, give it another go, give it another shot. And the reason I say that is because sometimes we have to find our way home. Sometimes you got to find your way back home, right? Like the team that I'm on here at Senior Life is led by the part of our leadership group is Rico Da Silva. And part of Rico's testimony is he'll tell you that he was at Senior Life 10 years ago, right? 10 years ago, and he left to go become a broker because someone promised him a high comp. And he, like he'll tell you that he chased the high comp. And even though his team was doing great production year over year, the chargebacks, he was having to stay ahead of chargebacks. The chargebacks were about taking him out of business, right? And so what's incredible is that he was at Family First Life. He'll tell you that, right? And nothing wrong with Family First Life. Great company. Everything's not a fit for everybody, but if you do the work, you're going to have success wherever you go. There's just different things that make different companies great. My personal opinion, right? So he was at Family First Life, and then he had left Family First Life to go to Tarkenton Insurance, right? When he was at Tarkenton Insurance, that's when Senior Life reached back out to him and said, hey, come home. Let's talk about, what we're doing. Things are better now. We have more structure. We have more systems. And he found his way back to Senior Life, and this is where he planted his flag. He got rid of his broker contracts. The rest is history. Same for me. When I came, I was at Family First Life. My first company was Symmetry Financial Group, right? I didn't dislike Symmetry at all. I thought I was making sales. I was building and growing a team. I just found that the culture wasn't a good fit for what I was looking for. You may have heard me talk about that on different videos from what I personally was looking for. And if you want to know what I was looking for, we'll have that conversation offline in private, right? And then the second company that I went to was Family First Life. I liked Family First Life. I made money at Family First Life, but also for at least 6 months to a year while I was there, I wasn't even selling. My brother had been diagnosed with cancer for the 5th time. We were in the process of dealing with that as a family. My mother-in-law was diagnosed with cancer. My husband's uncle passed away. My best friend passed away. And so I wasn't thinking about insurance for about a good year to a year and a half. So even though I've been in the industry 4 years, for at least a year to a year and a half of that 4 years, I wasn't doing anything, right? So then, but I was still licensed with Family First Life. So then I almost was out of the industry. I was like, Lord, you know what? I'm not going to sell insurance anymore. I don't want to do this. I don't want to be bothered. Like, I don't want to talk about death. That was probably really where I was. I didn't want to talk about death. And so, but this was where the Lord had called me to, this industry, right? Because he had told me I'm a licensed real estate broker and firm owner, and have been for 16 years. I've been in sales my whole career, 35 years. I've owned businesses. And I knew this is where the Lord was telling me to be, was insurance. And so I couldn't just leave it and put it down, because I'm all about obedience, right? Obedience is better than sacrifice. For those of you that are believers, you know what I'm talking about. So I decided to switch teams at Family First Life, went to a different team. And I can't say that I didn't have support. support over there. I just feel like it was just kind of scattered and all over the place. There wasn't a lot of structure. So it wasn't that wasn't a good company. It just didn't have enough structure for what I wanted, right? So then I was using my health license and I was writing a decent amount of business with Manhattan Life for a little while. And this way, before Manhattan Life, I decided while I was at senior at Family First Life that I needed to or wanted to focus on adding a final expense burial insurance plan because I found my passion for whole life, right? We're talking about, has past failure in the insurance industry made you cynical? Right. And so that's when I added Lincoln Heritage. I didn't just go to Lincoln Heritage, but I added Lincoln Heritage and I joined UBI down in South Carolina. And they had about 7 states that you could write with. And even though I will say this about them, they had a phenomenal culture, phenomenal leadership, wonderful people. I just couldn't get into the feel of it. I'm not a field agent, and it's a field company, right? It's all about door knocking, driving to your customer, driving to your client. And I was like, okay, that doesn't really fit who I am. I'm not going to go door to door. I'm not a door-to-door salesperson. I'm not going to go knocking on a stranger's door, and I don't want anybody knocking on my door, right? I'm not going to buy anything from the door, so therefore I probably didn't have confidence in selling anything from the door either. And I don't think that's the most viable way to build a business in 2025. I just talked about that on another video, Garlinda's personal opinion. If you haven't seen that video, I asked the question, is door-to-door sales a dying aspect as it relates to the insurance industry? And I truly believe that it is. And so we're talking about tonight, has past failure in the insurance industry made you cynical? So then I left Lincoln Heritage, that UBI group, and I was like, okay, that doesn't feel like home. And at that point I had seen a friend of mine was posting that they were at Senior Life. I used a friend loosely. I knew them from insurance, right? So I was like, let me go research, do some interviews, interview 3 people. I'm going to interview 3, see which one fits, and I'm going to join that person's team, and I'm going to see what Senior Life is all about. And so I like Senior Life. And so what ended up happening was I had a conversation with my husband multiple times. Shout out to my honey bunny, Pastor Marvin Price Jr. You all know I lovingly call him Lamb Chop, Lammy for short. And I said, honey, I really feel like I have to make a decision between these 2 companies because I have all these broker contracts over here with all these different carriers, American Amicable, Transamerica, Liberty Bankers. I didn't have Mutual of Omaha at the time before I left, but just a bunch of different contracts, probably at that point, like 8 to 10, and maybe 8 or 9. And then I was writing with Senior Life. But what I found was that my leads at Senior Life that I was investing in, I was selling, but the leads I was investing in over here at these different, because with Family First Life, they don't have a lead vendor, right? So you can buy from whatever lead vendor you want. You can get on calls and they'll talk about what leads are working from them. So here I am following the crowd and I'm buying leads from these different lead vendors, and the leads suck. And what I mean by that is the leads weren't bad because the people didn't say they didn't want the stuff. The leads had been recycled. They were being resold to different people. And that's not a Family First Life thing. That's a lead vendor thing. Okay. So then I invested in a Facebook lead campaign with a vendor that somebody at Family First Life had recommended. Now that guy is Facebook lead campaigns. We were getting tons of leads, tons of leads, tons of leads. And I was able to sell maybe 1 or 2 of the leads. But when I saw that it was about over 100 leads and I had only closed about 4, I was like, yeah, I'm not doing that, because that's probably normal with Facebook leads, but I don't like throwing spaghetti at the wall or throwing money at the wall in a business to see what sticks. And what I was doing was I was making a comparison between my writing business with Family First Life and my writing business with Senior Life. And what I identified was that Senior Life has a solid, structured lead program through their Leads the Way app. It works, and it works if you work it. Now, the one thing that I will say is that a lot of people listen to a lot of the negative banter about Senior Life. You got to find out for yourself. And that's about any company. That's why I said I'm not here to talk about any company, because it all works if you work it. Once you find your way home, what works for you may not work for the next person. Somebody may love Primerica and be all in, and that works for them. They're making money, they're growing a business. Somebody else may work for Family First Life. They're all in, it's working for them. They love their business. Same thing with Lincoln Heritage, same thing with Senior Life Services, same thing with all these different companies. I'm not here to convince you otherwise, but I am here to tell you, don't go forming your opinion about where you're going to have success based on these people that sit here on these podcasts and have interviews back and forth talking about, let me tell you what they did to me. And let me tell you what they did to them, because there's pieces of the story that you don't have. Right. So what you want to do is don't become cynical in the life insurance industry, and don't let it make you cynical by listening to other people's opinion without finding out for yourself and without forming your opinion from your own experience. So I only come on here and share with you my experience. So what I have found, right? Because Senior Life has just launched a free lead program. And what's really awesome is that the free lead program, they started talking about it about 5 weeks ago. And so over the course of the 5 weeks, they've been working to roll it out, and it's had some kinks. And now today it finally launched, right? So everybody that opted into the free lead program received free leads in their back office. They're working also on giving free live transfers. You also can go into the inventory and get free leads. And you still have people outside the industry that like, they ain't no good. While you're working the free leads, what are you talking about? It's amazing to me, right? Or their lead program can't be that good while we're over here selling the leads, or they're not making any money over there while we're over here selling the leads. Make it make sense. No insurance industry, no insurance company is easy. The insurance industry business is not easy. You're going to call a lot of people a lot of times before you get a sale, and that's selling tactics, that's sales strategy, right? That's how the industry works. And so I encourage you in 2025, don't form your opinion about where you're going to go and have success based on what you hear people saying online, what you see people posting online, when you have not found out for yourself. You may be shooting yourself in the foot. Literally, you may be shooting a hole in your bank account, right? When you could be somewhere where there's a lead program that works. And so what happens is I've had different people reach out to me, tons of people, guys, women, young women, young men, older women, older men. And they're like, well, I heard those free leads are old. Who cares? They're not old, right? But let's just talk about first, who cares if they're old? Right? It wouldn't matter if the lead was 800 years old, a month old, and old is relative. What do you consider old? I've spoken with people that think that 60 days is an old lead. I've spoken with people that think that a year is an old lead, but then I've spoken with one of my business partner that used to work 10-year-old leads. So old is relative. What do you think is old? Somebody might think 48 hours is old, right? But it's a mindset. We got to not be cynical and think just because we've had a bad experience over here that we take that bad experience and that negative energy and we take it to our new place and then we expect to have a new experience. No, you can't put old wine in new wineskin, right? That's the word, right? So you got to change your attitude and you got to say, you know what? I'm not going to be cynical. I'm going to dust off my rusty dusty. I'm going to shake the dust from my feet. I'm going to have a new attitude and I'm going to go make this business work, because when I was blessed to get this license, come on, you went to school to get the license. Some of you took the class online. Just check the comments right quick. Some of you took the class online. Some of you took the class in person. You've been working on this for years. Some of you had to take the test more than once. Come on now. And now you're just going to let some bad experiences push you out of the business? No. Shake that stuff off, dust off your rusty dusty, get back in the game, because this is an incredible field, is an incredible opportunity. Your first year is going to be your hardest year. Your first year back is going to be your hardest year. If you could just push through the negativity, if you can push through the inner noise, if you can push through the chaos, if you can push through the people saying, you going over there? I'm gonna give this example, then we'll go back to talking about leads if I don't forget. I remember when I was working for this network marketing company, right? And this young lady had reached out to me and she was like, hey, I want you to look at my business, take a look at my business, join my team. And she was selling a shake. And I don't like shakes, right? Because way back in the day in college, I had drunk a shake. That thing, I wasn't drinking enough water. I got a kidney infection. I ended up in the hospital. I had to take 18 hours my last year of college because my kidneys were bad. And I mean, at the time, and it was just all bad. So I do not do diet shakes, right? So when she asked me about it, all I had a flashback of was that hospitalization. I was like, no, I said, thank you for thinking about me, but I'm not interested, right? So then she sees me partner with this other company. This years ago, sees me partner with this other company. And she's like, now look at you, you over here selling tea. I really wanted to comment, right? But instead, I left her message unresponded to because I felt like that would be more painful than me actually going back and forth with her, was the fact that I didn't even address her, right? So I left the message sitting there. I lied to you not. 6 months to a year later, this woman was over at the same company that she had just dogged out where I was, just said, oh, you over there selling tea. And now she was over there selling tea, right? So see what I mean is people will try to get you off your game. They'll try to get you to pivot from what is working for you. They'll try to pull you away from what you're doing. The enemy will use whoever's willing, and they may not even know they're being used, right? What you doing over there? Hadn't you heard about what they do? Haven't you heard about what's being said about them? Haven't you? No, I haven't heard it because I'm not listening. I'm working, right? And so that's the mindset that you have to have. Even if I have heard it, I don't care. What does it have to do with me, right? I'm really big on minding my business, making my money, drinking my coffee, loving on my family, and minding my business, right? And so if we entertain every negative thing that we hear about something, it'll take us off our game. Because in the past, when I was immature in business, I would do that, like, what happened? And I would let it get me off course. So now when people reach out to me with greener grass on the other side, I'm not interested. Why? Because I'm not chasing a high comp. Why? Because the high comp is only on specific products. It's not on every product that they sell. And that's what happens is they'll say, I give you 130% if you come over here. I'll give you 120% if you come over here. I'll give you 150% if you go over there. But they don't tell you it's only on about 4 products. It's not the whole line. And so then you end up really making 25, 30, 40, 50%, which is still good money. Right. But you could have stayed where you were instead of chasing that high contract. Right. And so over here at Senior Life, you can work your way up to a high contract. Right. And so this is what's important. Don't become cynical based on past experience. Were you with a team where they didn't help you? It's okay. They didn't help you. Right. You had to figure some stuff out on your own. That means that no one can take the knowledge away from you. Right. When you have a hard time, and let's say you've had to argue back and forth with people because you were at a place where people were combative and cynical. I was at a place like that, and it was mainly men, and they always wanted to be arguing back and forth and creating drama. I left. I said, honey, miss me in my absence. I don't need all that. I'm too grown to be arguing with adults, and especially people that could be my kids' age, right? And so you don't have to do that. You don't even have to entertain it. You are the gift. You're the one with the license. But guess what? They're not going to mess with my money. And at the first company, I left behind a 6-figure, like we were producing 6 figures. We had done that within 9 months with only 8 writers. Right. And so I left it behind. I couldn't even take them with me. I couldn't even tell them, hey, come with me. Why? Because they had a non-compete, not non-compete. They had it was a non-compete in their contract. So what? I'll start over in peace because why? Peace has no price tag, right? And so don't become cynical in this business because you feel like people didn't do you right. They didn't help you. My husband said it like this when I came into real estate. My first broker, now they would provide you with a home you could go sit in with open house. They did some training, but when it was time to get help, honey, they were ghost like Casper, like clear, like invisible. Casper at least had a sheet on, you could see him, right? But they would go ghost, like transfer through the wall, you don't see him, right? And so I would go in the bathroom in the office and I would just be in tears, like, what am I going to do? Because I didn't know what I was doing. I would come home and complain and whine to my husband when I had my first for sale by owner. I didn't know what I was doing. And my husband said, well, Garlinda, you just have to figure it out. And once you figure it out, because you know how to do it, You won't need anybody's help because you had to learn it on your own. And then what you do is when you see somebody else that needs the same information, you teach them. I think that's why I'm so passionate about coming on here, telling you and talking to you and encouraging you, because you can do it. But some stuff you will genuinely have to figure out on your own. And when you do, no one can take it from you, right? And so I just encourage you, keep looking in the space until you find the place to call home, right? Of course, I'd love for you to give me a call. Of course I would, right? And I'm gonna put my information in the chat. But if you are you are in the insurance industry, and let's just say you let your license go back to class. Let's say you haven't renewed, go pay your renewals, right? Senior Life has, to me, one of the best lead programs in the industry that I've seen. I hadn't seen all lead programs, but I've been a part of enough that were broken. Right? In order to say that this is an excellent one. One thing for sure that I love about the leads that we call, even if they don't buy from us the same day, is they don't say, I didn't do that. I didn't call that number. I ain't called it. Take my name. Now, people will say, take my name off the list, but they won't say they didn't call. They won't say, I wasn't on Facebook scrolling around and put my information in. They may say, I don't remember. And then you say, okay, well, this was from a phone call. You probably saw an ad over on Senior Life when you're watching television, or you saw an ad on Facebook. Oh, yeah, that was me. Right. So this is, and then they're not saying, I've already had 10 people call me today. Why? Because once you buy the lead, it's your lead. They're not around here reselling leads and recycling leads. They just don't do that. And it's such a great program. Not only that, there's very few insurance companies that offer television transfers, and these are free. This is their free lead program. Now you can come in on a traditional path that we call it here at Senior Life, but why would you? The leads are free, but we could talk about it, right? Give me a call. That's what I'm gonna tell you my number first. Let me go and put that in the chat right quick. My number is 910-494-7798. I can't type and talk. And my name is Garlinda, and I'm the agency owner and national sales director with Fusion Insurance Group, and I'm powered by Senior Life Insurance Company. So the leads, and so we have a free lead program now. So again, the free lead program launched today. And because the system was processing so many people, all the live transfer leads weren't showing up as free yet. What did Senior Life do? They put 25 free leads in the back of everyone's office that's in the free lead program. 25. If you do the math on that, 25 free leads, and these not old leads, because I know somebody's going to be listening like, there's some old leads. How do you know you're not over here? But I'm just saying, they're not. 25 times, let's just call it not even a new lead. Let's just say it's a Facebook call lead. If it's a Facebook call lead, that's $1,125 worth of free leads sitting in the back of every agent's account that's on the free lead program. Let's say that they're TV leads. Let's call it 25 times 69. That's $1,725 worth of leads sitting in the back of somebody's account. Let's call it a social media lead. 25 times $27, $675 worth of leads sitting in the back of somebody's account for free. Okay. So what are you working? What are you doing with your insurance license, right? Don't become cynical because you see opportunities out there and you hear people talking about opportunity. You see people talking about the opportunity, and yet you hear either the negative chatter outside or you hear the negative chatter inside, and you're like, it ain't no good, because you become cynical, right? Ask God to clear your mind of that. Lord, this is where you called me to. You really wanted to have great success in the insurance industry. And then for whatever reason, things didn't work out. People lied. People lie in this industry. Good God. I used to think people lied in real estate. People lie in the insurance industry. It is some mess in the insurance industry. Like, I'm like, good God, right? I never knew. Who knew? So then when you come up around it, you come up against it, it's shocking because nobody ever said, hey, watch your back over there in the insurance industry. It can be scandalous, right? It's the truth, right? It can be a very shady industry of people lying, misrepresenting numbers, misrepresenting products, not telling you the truth about how much it costs to be in the industry, not telling you the truth about how to grow in the industry, not telling you the truth about that whether or not they're like, for example, they may take you out and mentor you, and then you get a sale and then they take your sale. Like, it's just some scandalous stuff that goes on. It's janky business that goes on in the insurance industry. And that's why I always come on here to say, let me talk to you and let me share with you what's been my experience. Okay. So my experience now is I'm no longer a broker at Family First Life. I didn't have a bad experience over there, but at 56 years old, this is my retirement plan. The Lord, when he called me into insurance, he called me here because guess what? In insurance, and you all already know this, you can build a book of business. If all you want to do is write business on your own personal pen and not be bothered with the, hullabaloo around building a team, do that. Go write your book of business and be happy. Make your money. Go to Bora Bora. Go buy a Coach bag. Go buy some red bot. Whatever it is you want to do, just come write your business in peace. My team is a team of peace. I don't do drama. I hate drama, right? If you want to come over here and you say, I want to build a team and I want to get overrides, come over here, build a team, write your own personal business and build overrides. But guess what? Unlike the first company I was with, even if you don't write any business and your team does, you still get paid to override. Make it make sense. Come on now. This is an excellent industry, but people just don't tell the truth. And so now at Senior Life, what they've done is they've removed the barrier to entry, which is what? Money. Because most of the time it's something, most of the time you may have the money for the leads, you had a credit card set aside, and all of a sudden you get to this company and they're like, you got to spend $5,000 a week in leads. You got to spend $2,000 a week in leads. You got to spend $3,000 a week in leads. And people tend to max out their credit cards. And so now they think when you talk about leads, they're like, oh God, no, I want to hear it. It's like the offering plate at church. If you've ever been taken advantage of financially at one place, at one church, now you think every church, when they go to take up an offering, is trying to do you dirty, right? Well, that's where you got to have a renewed mindset. And you have to ask the Lord, okay, Lord, cleanse my mindset, change my heart, change my mind around it. I love, and I saved this prayer for myself that shout out to my sister in Christ, Monica Henderson. And I just love listening to her ministry videos over on Facebook, but she shared a prayer for business. I literally text the prayer to myself so that I could pray that prayer over myself and over my business partners, right? Because a lot of times we just have to ask God, cleanse our mind from bad experiences, right? Don't become cynical in the business because maybe you've been in the industry a long time, maybe you've been in sales a long time, maybe you've been jumping from company to company, or you just have not had great experiences in the insurance industry. Don't make it don't put everybody in one pot together. Right? Give us a chance. But again, I'm Garlinda Price. I'm the agency owner and national sales director of Fusion Insurance Group, powered by Senior Life. And I personally love it here. I had somebody ask me the other day, how's it going over there? Great. Great. But if I was over there, it would be great. Because wherever I am, I'm going to make it great. Why? Because I chose to be here. We're a volunteer army. Like, nobody's forcing us to sell insurance. We chose to sell insurance. And so I would just tell you that 3 things. It's not an easy business. It's a simple business. It's a numbers game. You've got to call a lot of people, and sales strategy says that a lot of people, I don't know the percentages, but I would just say, let's call it 78% of people will not buy the first time that you call them. They will not buy the 5th time that you call them. They will not buy the 8th time that you call them. Sales statistics show that the average sale is made on the 10th to the 13th call. Will you be the last man standing? You just have to be the person that keeps calling and keeps dialing, making a tick mark on the page. I'm going to show you what that looks like, right? Making a tick mark on the page. And then one day you're going to look up and you're going to call them and it's their time. And they're going to be like, man, I was hoping you would call me back. I really need to go and get this insurance and stop playing around, right? And so that's how it works. I'm going to show you this one. I'm going to just fold down the lady's name. Okay. So this is a lead, and this is all the times we've called a person. The pencil is all the times my son called. All the ink is all the times I call, right? So let me see. I called her 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I called her 9 times, but each time that I called her, I dialed her 2 or 3 times. So at least what, 27 dials? He called her 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 15. So he called her 6 times, 3 dials, 18 times. So in total, we've called her about 15 times, and we've dialed her number well over 28 times, right? So it's getting close to where she's about to pick up the phone, right? So we don't throw leads in the trash, but I think that whenever you're in the insurance industry, right, we're talking about, has past failure in the insurance industry made you cynical? For some reason, we have this mindset that it's supposed to be easy. But it's not easy. It's that we get better and we get better and we get better and we get better. The more we call, the more we practice. And then a lot of times, the second thing that makes it hard, I got on 3, but I mean 2. The second thing that makes it hard is we come into the industry with a need financially. You cannot come into, I don't want to say what you can't do. That's not right. If you're going to come into the insurance industry and you have a financial need, you got to have a hustle on the side. If you know that you need to make money, because what if you don't make money your first week in because you're just not that great on the phone yet? Or you don't hit the number yet that it takes to get to a sale, because it is a numbers game. You have to track your business. You have to track your sales. You have to fill up your pipeline. Don't let the insurance industry or the past experience you had make you cynical. You have to have expectations built on facts. What does that mean? You got to track your business. You have to inspect what you expect. And so then when you track your business, you get into a certain number of dials, you get a groove, you're going to hit a sale, you're going to hit another sale, then you're going to hit a no, then you're going to hit a, hey, can you call me back? Then you're going to hit another sale. Then you're going to have a whole week to 2 weeks. Maybe you don't have any sales at all. That's the industry. That's normal. That's not bad leads. That's normal industry, insurance industry, right? But if all you ever chalk it up to is the leads are bad, you'll go hopping from place to place looking for the diamond lead. It doesn't exist. All leads are someone that raised their hand to say, I'm interested in potentially hearing about what you have to offer. And if I like you, I'll buy it, right? Because it's not about the product. It's a transfer of emotions. It's, can I connect with you? And some people I can connect with right away, right? Why? Because one, I'm going to have fun, right? That's the third thing. You got to bring fun into this business. It's already hard. Why make it more hard by acting like it's work? I'm just saying, I'm weird like that. If I'm on the phone with you, we gotta have a good time. Hey, Nancy, what's going on down there in Texas? What are you up to? What you cooking for dinner? Right? How was your weekend? What'd you do over the weekend? How's your family? What are y'all doing in Texas? Like, what's your town near? I'm making a friend. I'm establishing rapport. I'm building a relationship. I'm having fun. I'm acting like I'm hosting a whole party, and I'm acting like I'm calling someone I already know. I'm not acting like I'm calling a stranger, right? And then when we get to talking about business, well, Nancy, I see you don't have any. I'm going to ask her, Nancy, you don't have any insurance. How long you been without insurance? We got to get that taken care of. Like, Nancy, if something were to happen, what would you do, right? Follow the script, but have fun and make it yours. Why? Because when you serve, you deserve to get paid. If you don't serve, you don't deserve to get paid. And I think a lot of times in insurance, and where I've seen people fail, is they come in, I got to pay my rent, I got to buy my groceries, I got to pay my light bill, I got to pay this, I got to pay that. And all they're thinking about is themselves. And I understand that everybody has a need. Eggs are $9, right? $9.99, $8.99. Everybody has a need, but if you lead with the need that you have, then you're not focused on the need that they have, and you're not going to get the sale. Why? Because it comes off as energy. Everything is a transference of energy. They're going to know that you're not about them. They're going to know because you're going to press when they say, well, I really need to think about it. Well, Nancy, what you need to think about it for? That's not right. Right? Well, Nancy, tell me, what is it? Have I not answered all your questions? Is there more information that you need from me? Tell me what it is that maybe I didn't share with you that would help you make a decision. Well, no, it's not that. Okay, so Nancy, it may be one of two things. It could be price. Maybe the price is too high. And if so, I just need you to be honest with me and let me know, because we can fit within any budget, right? Or is it that you don't like me, right? Which no, most times if you do say that, they'll just laugh. And so don't take it personally. Next call. So Senior Life has eliminated that with free leads, right? Is it a perfect system? No, it's in the process of rolling out, and it is going to get good. Why do I say that? My team, half of my team that's on the free lead program, 4 out of 6 has already gotten 25 free leads that they can immediately begin to make money off of. They can go into the system and buy a lead, meaning click it. It has a price associated with it. When they go to get it, it's $0, zero charge, free lead program, zero balance. Make it make sense. And then people will say, is it an old lead? Who cares? It's free. If it is an old lead, what does that mean? It's not. But what if it is an old lead? What's the worst thing that could happen if it was an old lead? Because I've called old leads. What's the worst thing that can happen? They could either say, take my number off your list, don't call me anymore. They could say, oh my gosh, somebody just died. I got to get this insurance taken care of. Or they could say, well, I sent that in last year. That's old. And then what do you say? Did you get it taken care of? No. Okay. Well, let's talk about it. And you go into your script. What's the worst thing that can happen? Because you didn't pay anything, but free is too expensive for a mind that's not ready. So if you're cynical in your business and and that's all you're thinking about, it's a mindset shift you have to make. It's not that the lead needs to do anything. Senior Life doesn't need to do anything. You got to change your mind because you have become cynical about the business and cynical about your potential for success. Because I don't care how old the lead is. I know that I'm great in sales. I know I'm great in business. Why? Because the Lord made me so. It's the environment He called me to. And He said, Garlinda, go be great. So therefore, because I have the living God inside of me and I love to serve people and I care about people, I already know I'm going to be great. So now you just have to change your mindset and say, God, please cleanse this cynical nonsense from my mind where people have done me dirty. Because we've all been done dirty. I'm telling you, it's a dirty business, right? We've all been done dirty. But what it is God said, if He told you to come here, He has wealth for you here. He has money for you here. He has income for you here. This is the only business that I know of that I've ever owned besides doing hair. And I did hair 14 years. I owned salons for 8 years. I ran a spa for about 4 years. I love the beauty industry because it's cash in the hand, right? I know you may look at my hair and be like, ma'am, you wasn't in the beauty industry. This is natural hair. I love it, but nevertheless, right? The insurance industry is the only industry I know of where you could come in here today with a negative bank account with $0 and in 24 to 48 to 72 hours or the same day have money in your account. Don't let it make you cynical because you've had bad experiences. Give it another try. Dust your rusty dusty off. Ask the Lord to show you the way to go. Focus on a specific product. I chose whole life final expense. Why? Because it's going to pay you residuals. That means that you get paid 9 months in advance. Then you're also going to get paid month 10, month 11, and month 12. And then you're going to get renewals. What does that mean? That means that next year, if that business is still on the books, when that person goes to pay their bill, you're going to get paid again. Then you're going to get paid year 3, year 4, year 5, year 6, year 7, year 8, year 9, year 10, year 11. Come on now, stop playing around. Stop playing around. Where can you go do that and not be in jail and be a ward of the state? I don't look good in orange, right? So I'm not going to do any illegal businesses, right? I'm just joking, right? It's a recession-proof business. There are very few industries that are recession-proof. Lipstick and liquor are recession-proof. Lipstick, liquor, insurance. Those are 3 recession-proof industries. I already know I'm not going to sell liquor. I already do have a beauty business. I have a website where we sell hair care, skincare, beauty, right? Recession-proof business. But insurance, recession-proof, not going anywhere. People are dying every day, all the time. And what I love about Senior Life is if you've never heard of pre-need, this is similar to pre-need. Why? Because we have a sister company called Everlasting Legacy where they can lock in their casket, their headstone, and their vault, all of their funeral merchandise for $2,950. It's locked in until they're 100 years old. And that they can add 4 family members that live under the same roof to be locked in for the same funeral merchandise, even if they don't have an insurance policy, right? So in addition to that, we're considered the Costco of funeral home merchandise, right? So that means that that's your value added proposition. Who's going to come behind you and write a policy over you when your policy doesn't include the funeral merchandise? And then we have a product that is comparable to the 2 least expensive products on the market for whole life final expense. Ours beats one of those out, and then it beats both of them out because neither one of them has funeral merchandise. If you use virtual mentor, I forget what the other thing was. If you go looking to see who can your client get qualified for. Plus, if the person has AIDS, they can get coverage. They've been in jail, they can get coverage without they do have a waiting period. They do have a waiting period. If they have cancer, they can get coverage. If they have COPD, they can get coverage. If they're on oxygen, they can get coverage. So therefore, you want to find a company that doesn't eliminate people that have health issues and health concerns, and you can write everybody ages 0 to 85. It's not just for seniors. Even though it's called Senior Life, 0 to 85, and the senior market is our market. But then this last thing I'm gonna share with you, and I'm shutting up, has past failure in the insurance industry made you cynical? Why did you come into the insurance industry? Reconnect with that. Reconnect with what brought you here, why you came in, what were you hoping to obtain, what were you hoping to attain, what were you hoping to do in the industry, what did you want to get out of the industry, what did you want and or needed to do for you and your family. Reconnect with that. Right. And then I would encourage you, read some books on mindset. I literally was like, Lord, you've got to help me with my mindset, because I can be cynical. I can be negative. Right. I'm not now, but I was. And everything was just why? Because I had a bad attitude, because I was just tired of people. I was tired of how people had done me dirty. I was tired of how people had lied to me and didn't do what they said they were going to do. I was tired of me having this expectation of something was going to be great, and then it wasn't great because they didn't tell me everything. And now all of a sudden it's a hot mess express. That creates cynicism. So you're normal if you feel that way. And a lot of times you can get discouraged, but then when you become apathetic, like, I don't even care, whatever, I'm done with that, you do yourself a disservice, because it was a part of your goal. It was a part of what you wanted. It was a part of your belief system. It was a part of something you wanted to work. It still can work. Give it another shot. But you got to get rid of the old bad, the bad behavior, not bad behavior. You got to get rid of the old mindset and how people treated you, their behavior. Right. You got to get over the fact that you had bad experiences. And now when you hear leads, you think, I don't want nothing to do with that. Right. You have to, leads are the lifeline and the lifeblood of any business. And now over here, they're free. Right. If it's free, I'll take 3. Right. Give me 3 of them free leads. So not only are they going to allow you to take inbound calls that are free, and they're going to allow you to have free outbound inventory to call. What? Come on. Now, this is where the rubber meets the road. What are the parameters? You got to treat it like a full-time job. You can't be a broker to be on our free lead team. You got to treat it like a full-time job. So you have to be willing to work 6 to 8 hours a day. Right? Making phone calls. Can you take breaks? Yes. Can you say, you know what? I want to work from 10 to 2, and then I want to work from 4 to 7, or I want to work from 9 to 5, or I want to work from 9 to 12, and then again from 3 to 7. Yes. Right? You can break it up and have a schedule however you want. We just expect you to follow the schedule. If that's what you said you were going to do, we're going to hold you accountable to what you said, not what we said. Right? So you have to be willing to work it like a full-time job. We don't hire brokers, right? So if you have broker contracts with other carriers, you can't work with us on our team at Senior Life. Why? Because you could take our leads and go sell them somewhere else, and that's a no-no. Right? I'm just telling you that's a thought process, and we're firm on that. Now, there may be some other teams at Senior Life that will let you around that idea, but I doubt it, because the owner of the company says we don't hire brokers, right? And you're not going to need it. When you're making money, you're not going to miss all that hither, there, through, to and fro. You're not going to miss that. Right? So then, no broker contracts, working a full-time business, and you got to be willing to be accountable. We do role playing, we do training, and we're on a virtual call center with our cameras on. We're there to support one another. Right? And you got to be a part of a team and be willing to help you grow and be successful, which helps the team grow and be successful. And that's it. And then there's a quota. There's a weekly quota of 31.25 a week in AP. That is not a lot. Based on the average sale of the company, literally, that's not a lot. 10 closed, 10 issue paid apps, 31.25 AP. Commissions, we'll talk about offline. If you want to know what the commission is, you call me. I just put my number in the chat. Again, it's 910-494-7798. I will tell you that Senior Life launched the free lead program. They did it on a beta test. One organization did it for a year. And everybody that was doing it was netting anywhere from $5,000 as high as $40,000 a week in net income. Then they had another team that beta tested it for 4 months. Same thing, $3,500 a week, $5,000 a week, $35,000 a week, $25,000 a week. Results may vary. What's the difference? What's your work ethic? All of us have access to the same lead inventory, right? But the difference is the work ethic. The difference is consistency. The difference is mindset. What do you want to do? Right. And so don't let past failure in the insurance industry make you cynical. Give yourself a chance to win. And please know this, and I mean this in love with all sincerity of heart. I'm not an adult babysitter. I don't run an adult daycare. We're not going to bring personal problems into the business because we're not counselors, right? Because everybody has something that they've gone through and or going through and have gone through. Not that we don't care, but we got to run it like a business, and we got to treat it like a business so that it pays all of us like a business. Okay. So just know that you got to come here with your big girl undies on. You got to come here with your big boy overalls on, and let's go do what thus saith the Lord. Serve people, and He's going to pay us in the kingdom of marketplace, kingdom entrepreneurship, and marketplace ministry. He's going to pay us to be great and to be successful and to serve people. Okay. So again, I'm Garlinda Price. Thank you for being here with me. For those of you that have watched on tonight, and I'm the agency owner, national sales director of Fusion Insurance Group, powered by none other than Senior Life Insurance Company. Give me a call, find out for yourself, but don't let cynicism keep you from a recession-proof business in 2025 that could literally change your life if you're willing to put in your time, do your time. Your first year is the hardest. You can do it. Okay. So